Did you know that 2 plus 2 equals 5? It does. Did you know that the sky is orange and the grass is red? They are. And if you go out and you look right now and disagree, well, there's something wrong with your eyes. Maybe you should visit the doctor. Did you know that only men can be violent and that women never lie? Believe all women. They only tell the truth all the time. Did you know that men are toxic? That men can't be trusted to raise their own children? And that women make better parents? But let's be noble, and we will at least allow fathers to see their kids 4 days a month. Aren't we kind? And let's clear up a few more things too while we're at it. Women are the oppressed ones. This is why it's right and good that the government has their back and will take their side at work, in marriage, and society at large. Men are the oppressors. Men represent the patriarchy, and everything they do is systemically wrong. Unless they bow down and serve women, unless they become the sacrificial animal, then and only then are they acceptable. Then they will be accepted. 2 plus 2 equals 5. Fellow MGTOW, the longer I live, the more I'm convinced that there are two kinds of people in this world. Those who live based on truth, reality, and facts, and those who live based on their own emotions, feelings, and their own agenda, regardless of how it affects others. This latter group I have grown to disdain. I do not normally believe in hate, but if there were one group of people that I could say I hate, it would be these people. Why? Because this is the real enemy. Our enemy is bigger than just those who oppose MGTOW, or rather, it's bigger than those who made us go MGTOW. It's bigger than the family courts, the gynocentric society. It touches on every aspect of life, from relationships, friendships, marriages, to things that are seemingly unrelated, like the events that go on in government, the very philosophies behind government itself. Ever wonder how communism starts? I'll tell you. In fact, let me not tell you. Let one of its most famous followers, Vladimir Lenin, who killed up to 5 million people under his rulership, let him speak for himself. He said, quote, "A lie told often enough becomes the truth." End quote. This is the philosophical foundation of communism. Lies. Spoken enough until they become truth. You never heard it put that way, did you? Now, go ask yourself why 70% of Democrats in the United States have admitted in polls that they would vote for a declared socialist. For those interested, the link to this poll is in the description box below. So the reason for this is because there are people walking around who hate the truth. These people look like you and me. They work with us. They might even be among your relatives. You might have married one. And then in divorce court, you might have run into one in the judge's seat. This Sunday, when you go to church, the person sitting to your left might be one of them as well. These people hate the true God. Wow, that seems like quite a bold statement to make. Hate the true God? Yep. Well, how do I know that? I'll tell you. Because to hate the reality that God created and the laws of the universe that he formed, to hate the world as he says it is, as it's observed by science and natural law, this is synonymous with hating God himself. You cannot separate the two. To hate reality and truth is to hate the one who created those realities and truths. Jesus said, "I am the way and the truth and the life. Nobody comes to the Father but through me." You've heard this before. What does it mean? It means that regardless of what you say, even if you claim to be a Christian, a conservative, a Republican, a MGTOW, if you don't live by truth and you don't seek the truth in all you do, then you will not ascend. You will not ascend to see the face of God. whether you want to call that God Jehovah in the Bible or simply the universe with a capital U. Sometimes it can get really sophisticated and cleverly masked, though. Take the most famous pastor in the country, Joel Osteen, for example. He teaches the truth, right? I mean, he's a man of God. He holds up a Bible in his hand at the beginning of each sermon, so surely he teaches the truth. But then he spends the next 60 minutes of his sermon teaching a Christianized version of The Secret, of some New Age Luciferian garbage. Your words become reality, he says. Literally. He says you can literally speak things into existence. And that, in effect, it really doesn't matter what reality is. Call those things which are not as if they are, he says. Which, by the way, is a verse that's taken out of context. Romans 4:17 says that God, not you, calls those things which are not as if they are. God creates reality. You and I are subservient to this reality and must follow it. But okay, Joel, you're right. Let's just say that 2 plus 2 equals 5. There. I said it, so it must be correct, right? Is it any wonder why followers of Osteen's church are among the most gynocentric people of all? I would put them even before hardcore womanists on the gyno scale. Do you doubt me? Go ahead and look at the divorce rate of so-called evangelical Christians. It's actually higher than the general population. That's right. Your average church girl is more likely to divorce you than the girl directly off the streets. The link to this study is also in the description box below. And this should be no surprise. Look at the message that they preach. I remember one time at a church I went to where the pastor actually said, the husband might be the head of the house, but the wife is the neck, and the neck turns the head. You have a Bible verse to support that one, Pastor? Those who oppose the truth are the real enemy. Never forget this. Here's something to think about. What does a gaslighter have in common with a gynocentric society? When the gaslighter hurls a frying pan at your head and later says, "Oh, that never happened. I never did that." Or worse yet, "You made me do it." What does that have in common with a society that robs men of legal rights in marriage and child custody and views them as disposable? Answer: both of these, the gaslighter and the gynocentrists, do not care about truth. They mock it. Truth is whatever they say it is, whatever gets them what they want when they want it. And for all you know, it might change tomorrow. Don't hold them to it, though. Don't expect any consistency or rationale, because if you do, you are abusive. You are the patriarch, the oppressor. And that frying pan that just went past your head never happened. Stop making things up. I wish there were a way to instantly distinguish between those who follow the truth and those who don't, like a red or green icon above their heads, similar to a video game, or maybe the words printed on their foreheads. That would make it easy. Unfortunately, life doesn't work like that. People don't come with warning labels. And what's worst is that lovers of lies will try to convince you that they're telling the truth. Even Satan masquerades as an angel of light. In our previous example of communism, what they'll tell you is that their goal is noble, that everyone will be equal, that everything will be fair, that nobody will be in need, and that the woes of society will be gone. Unfortunately, it requires that everyone accept and repeat lies. Oh, but as long as it's for the greater good, it's okay, right? In the book 1984, George Orwell has a powerful scene where the protagonist, Winston, starts doubting his own conscience. He starts thinking, you know what? What if the party is right? What if 2 plus 2 really does equal 5? If it winds up helping everyone and everyone benefits, why can't it? Fortunately, his temporary doubt was defeated by his common sense, and he realized, as I'm telling you in this video, that truth is the highest good. Even if it harms you or seems to harm you in the short run, it's the best plan in the long run. You shall know the truth, and it shall set you free. The title of this video is, What is Truth? I'm sure some of you recognize this verse from the Bible when Jesus was on trial before his crucifixion. During the course of his interrogation by Pontius Pilate, Jesus said, "Everyone who is of the truth hears my voice." To which Pilate replied, "What is truth?" You know, when I was young and naive, I remember reading that verse and thinking that it was an honest question, that Pilate was asking Jesus with the desire to learn. But now that I'm older and wiser, combined with more study of the Bible, I know this question had a tone of mockery. Ha, truth. What is truth? I don't care about truth. In the book of 1 Kings, we have the well-known story of King Ahab, the ultimate beta, and his wife Jezebel, from which we get the concept of the Jezebel spirit. Instead of focusing on her, let's look at a part of the story which isn't as well known. Ahab was about to make a critical decision, and so he went to consult his so-called prophets. He had a lot of them, 400 to be exact. What we read is that all of them, except one, spoke lies to him. They told Ahab what he wanted to hear. "Oh, everything is going to go just great for you, Ahab. Keep doing what you're doing, Ahab. God is going to bless you with all your plans." And Ahab loved hearing this. Then came along one prophet out of the 400 named Micaiah. Ahab did not like this guy because, as we read in 1 Kings 22, Micaiah never spoke well of him. He seemed a bit too negative, and instead of tickling Ahab's ears by telling him how great he was, he told Ahab the truth, that Ahab's plans would not go well, and that he was living in active defiance against the living God. Sound familiar? Smiling Joel Osteen and all these fake Christian frauds who only tell people what they want to hear, like a huckster, a snake oil salesman who ignores the facts and refuses to tell people how it really is. He tells women in his congregation, "Oh, it's never your fault. Your ex-husband or your boss, it's their fault for not realizing how great you are." And they eat it up, just like how Ahab ate up the 399 false prophets and got angry with the one man of truth. What I would like to leave you with is the knowledge that this is exactly how your enemy thinks. Do not debate them. Do not engage them. A debate implies that two people are, by goodwill, attempting to learn the truth about an issue, or at least to get closer to it. They do not think like that. To them, it's about nothing more than what they want, and whatever means they need to achieve it. This is Machiavellianism on display. This is why you have no rights in marriage, in divorce, in custody. Women and the ruling elite, the top-level chads, want it this way because it benefits them. They don't care if it's fair or unfair. These people will only change or do what's right if forced to by law. And it doesn't look like these laws will be changing anytime soon because they make the laws. Which leaves you with one option. Continue going MGTOW, opt out, be the John Galt. Shrug like Atlas, ghost in plain sight. Go monk, and let the system crash and burn. Then we, the faithful remnant, will continue on.